Hope is a famous esthetician in the city of Los Angeles who is doing her makeup. Suddenly, she hears the sound of police sirens, and then we see a picture of her on the floor. The scene cuts to 2 weeks earlier with Hope getting ready to be on a TV show. Maureen, who is her business partner and friend, reassures Hope, giving her confidence. During the show, Hope shows the hosts her new line of beauty products that she developed in Italy, and she explains her goal of bringing these products to the other side of the world. Hope has a beauty studio in Hollywood but plans to open more in other cities. After completing another procedure on one of her clients, Hope hands the client a bag with some of her products. Hope becomes curious when she learns that something new is opening in front of her studio. She tells Maureen that she's going to visit the new neighbor and try to find out more. When she enters the place, Hope picks up a flyer and discovers that it's going to be another beauty studio. Suddenly, Angel appears, letting her know that the place isn't open yet. Hope introduces herself and gives Angel a bag with some of her own products, which are protected by copyright. Before saying goodbye, Angel tells Hope that she parked in the wrong spot, as it's reserved for his clients only. This makes Hope angry, so she takes the bag back. Hope then goes to Jeff's office to question him about renting the parking space to Angel. After they talk, Hope hands Jeff one of her products and asks if he plans to get rid of Angel. However, Jeff prefers to deal with it next week. When Hope returns to the studio, she meets Colleen, one of her clients, who is with a friend named Jordan. He introduces himself to Hope, mentioning that he's heard about her, and he's surprised when Hope correctly guesses his age. The two women enter the treatment room, and while Hope works on Colleen, she asks if there's something going on between her and Jordan. Colleen, however, says she doesn't even know if he likes women. Later, Hope is at a cafe and is surprised to see Angel in a magazine. Shortly after, Jessica, one of Hope's clients and an actress, appears. She's been very busy and hasn't had time to visit Hope's studio. Hope gives her a moisturizer as a gift. Jessica mentions the new store that opened in front of Hope's studio, but Hope pretends not to know about it. Hope asks for a pack of cigarettes, saying it's for a friend, but it's actually for herself as she tries to calm down. She then runs into Jordan nearby and they go to a bar together. During their conversation, Jordan praises Hope for owning a product line, but Hope explains that it's not all smooth sailing. She talks about the many costs involved and how it affects the investor's mindset. Jordan then shares that he works as a coach, teaching both spiritual practices and self-defense. He gives Hope his contact card in case she needs it. The next day, while Hope is doing her makeup before heading to work, she suddenly receives a message on her phone showing that someone is filming her. Hope gets a call, but no one speaks on the other end of the line. On her way to work, Hope is on a call with Colleen, who mentions receiving a strange text message the night before. When Hope goes to read it, she becomes so disturbed by the messages that she almost gets hit by a car and also bumps into Angel. Additionally, Hope discovers that the message was sent to everyone in her email address book. When Hope arrives at the studio, Maureen asks if she was drunk, but Hope says no and suspects that someone must have hacked her. Then Maureen receives a call and informs Hope that 2 clients have canceled. Hope asks Maureen to send an email and also call all the clients to explain that she was hacked. At that moment, Hope sits in the chair to watch her interview air but is shocked to see Angel on the TV instead. Overwhelmed, Hope storms into a room and screams in desperation. Hope gets a ride from Jordan to a meeting since she can't find her keys. She meets with TV host Brett and starts talking about what's been happening to her. Brett reveals to Hope that some of the producers are already recording more with Angel and have decided to cut Hope's segment, choosing instead to air Angel's. After dinner, Brett gives Hope a ride home. She thanks him for his support, and Brett says he will do everything he can to get her interview on air next week. After complimenting Hope, he kisses her and promises that he will make sure she gets on the air. But for that to happen, they need to have an intimate relationship. Hope gets out of the car and thanks Brett, saying that he is a good friend, which leaves him devastated. The next day, when Hope arrives at work, she talks to Maureen about suspecting that Angel might have accessed the company's email. However, Maureen thinks it's unlikely that Angel could have done that. Suddenly, Hope sees Jessica and becomes curious because she isn't scheduled for that day. Hope rushes out the back door to see Jessica meeting Angel and entering his studio. When Hope enters the location, she insults Jessica, calling her a traitor, and tells her that if she goes in with Angel, Hope will never let her into her studio again. Despite this, Jessica still goes inside. Hope has an argument with Angel, which leaves her even more upset than before. Hours later, as Hope is about to leave, she finds her car with its tires slashed and immediately calls the police to report the incident. Later, Hope is at her friend Armin's auto shop, and Armin tells her that slashing tires is often meant as a threatening message. Hope shows Armin some of the messages she received, and Armin suggests that she get a gun for protection. Hope then goes to a gun store and tells the salesman she wants something for self-defense. He shows her one of the guns and she shows interest, but when she hears that she needs to go through some tests, she says she needs something immediate. Hope then buys pepper spray. She runs into Jeff and his grandson, who are shopping for fishing equipment. Jeff tries to talk to her, but Hope says she has to go because she has a client waiting. While attending to Margaret, Hope thanks her for understanding about the emails, and Margaret shares that she has also been hacked before. Meanwhile, a strange man enters the studio looking for Hope. Maureen informs him that Hope is with a client and that he needs an appointment. The man then sits down and says he came because of a post, leaving Maureen confused. Suddenly, the man starts raising his voice, frustrated about not being attended to. Hearing the man yelling, Hope stops attending to Margaret to find out what's happening. Maureen informs her that the man came to have relations with her. Jordan then arrives to remove the man from the studio. Afterward, they search Hope's name online and find her listed on a site as an escort. They inform Detective Emerson about the situation, but he doesn't seem very eager to help. Hope goes home and asks Jordan for advice on how to handle her business. He takes her hand and tells her that Hope has a talent for making people feel comfortable. Jordan advises her to use social media for her business, invest in online ads, and host a launch party at her studio, inviting Hope's VIP clients. After giving his advice, Jordan starts taking photos of Hope for her social media and ads. Hope notices that Jordan's face is bruised and grabs a product to apply to his injury. In the moment, there's a spark between them and they end up kissing. The next day, Hope hides behind a car when she sees Jeff. She then receives a call from Brett, who apologizes for that day and delivers bad news. He won't be able to get her interview on air because Hope's reputation has taken a hit recently. A few minutes later, Hope meets with Margaret to propose doing an online launch together. However, Margaret's website won't be available for the next few months, making the collaboration impossible at the moment. Margaret then says she has to go because she has a lunch appointment. We see a man in yellow who was observing Hope and Margaret's conversation. Next, we see Hope negotiating one of her clothes because she needs money. To get a good price for the clothing, Hope gives the woman 2 of her products. Suddenly, Hope receives an unpleasant photo via text message on her phone. Before leaving, Hope sees the man in yellow in the store and realizes she's being followed. She quickly gets into her car to leave as fast as possible. Afterward, Hope notices Angel's fame spreading and, to her surprise, sees Margaret entering the man's studio. After that, Hope calls the police, asking them to arrest Angel because she believes she's being threatened, but the police need evidence. She also finds Jeff and tells him that Angel is harassing her, posting things about her online, and even stealing Margaret from her. Jeff doesn't seem very concerned and leaves, leaving Hope speaking to herself. During the night, Hope sees Angel getting into his car and decides to follow him to his house. She spends some time there while Angel is inside singing karaoke. Hope calls Jordan, but the call goes to voicemail. She leaves a voicemail message saying that she followed Angel and is certain he is suspicious. We then see why Jordan didn't answer the phone. He was working out and listening to music at a high volume. After that, he records a motivational video on his laptop. Meanwhile, outside, the man who appeared at Hope's studio and another person enter Jordan's house, asking about the money. It's revealed that Jordan hired the man to create that scene at Hope's studio. Hours later, Hope meets with Jordan and tells him that she has tried to notify the police about the stalking, but they're not taking it seriously. Jordan advises Hope to spend a few nights at the studio until things calm down and says he will handle the situation by talking to Angel. Jordan goes to Angel's studio, but instead of confronting him directly, he tries to pitch his work as a coach. Angel rejects the offer and tells Jordan to leave. When Hope arrives home, she receives a call from Jordan, who lies that he has resolved the situation and that Angel will no longer be a problem. This cheers Hope up. She then takes a shower and goes through her skincare routine. Suddenly, a man enters the house. Hearing the noise, Hope grabs the pepper spray to defend herself and discovers that it's the same man who had been stalking her and is now tampering with her phone. Hope acts quickly and sprays him. After that, Hope angrily calls Jordan and tells him that since he didn't resolve the problem, she will take matters into her own hands. Hope goes to Armin's office and shows him the videos of someone filming her and talks about the man who was in her house the previous night. Armin assures Hope that he will handle it and that Angel will no longer bother her. The next day, Hope receives a gift that contains a portrait of her. Maureen notices that Hope is acting differently and expresses concern, advising her not to do anything that could ruin everything. Hope reassures Maureen that she won't mess things up. Shortly after, Hope receives a call from Detective Emerson, who asks her to come to the parking lot. Hope follows the instructions and upon arriving at the parking lot, is hesitant to approach the car. Detective Emerson wants her to see something. When she looks at the security footage, she is shocked to discover that Jordan was the one who slashed her car tires. Despite this, Hope decides not to tell the detective about it. Jordan asks his partner to go to Hope's house the following day. Meanwhile, Hope calls Armin to ask him to forget everything she said about Angel. However, it's too late. Armin goes to Angel's house and as soon as he enters, he starts attacking Angel. Angel fights back and they end up on the floor, struggling. Moments later, Hope stops in front of Angel's house. Seeing the door open, she becomes curious and goes inside. She is shocked to find Angel injured. Meanwhile, Armin, who is also hurt, is sitting in his car. As he gets distracted, he is struck by a van. The next day, Hope calls Jordan to tell him about what happened with Angel and says she wants to meet with him in person. Jordan hangs up on her. Suddenly, Hope is startled to see some police officers outside Angel's studio, but she decides to move forward regardless. Meanwhile, Jordan makes an anonymous call to the police department, claiming that Hope was the one who attacked Angel. Later, Hope receives information from Maureen that Armin died in a car accident. This news leads Hope to ask Maureen to cancel all of her appointments. Hope receives a police officer at her studio who discusses the attack on Angel, informing her that he is in the hospital. Hope pretends to know nothing about it. She tells Maureen that Jordan is to blame, but since she doesn't know his address, there's not much she can do. Maureen then provides her with Jordan's address. Moments later, Hope goes to Jordan's place. When she arrives, she tells him that she knows everything and before he can get close, she sprays him with pepper spray. But Jordan throws her onto the sofa and insults her. Hope grabs a baseball bat and strikes him before leaving with the bat. That night, the police come to Hope's house to arrest her. Before getting into the police car, Hope reveals that Jordan was the one harassing her. With this accusation, Jordan is also arrested. Finally, Hope's interview is broadcast. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, activate notifications and check out this other video.